tell me a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Sure. So I am a director of education. I oversee 4 college campuses. So we run a cosmetology school that includes cosmetology, barbering, and an aesthetics program. And we have 4 locations up here in Northern Illinois. So I kind of manage, all of the campuses.
And how many people would you say are out of all 4 campuses, how many people are there?
So student-wise, we probably have close to about 300, 350. Staff-wise, right around 25 people.
And so who is using signNow the most? Is it you? Is it your team? How does that work?
Yeah, so right now it would be our admission representatives. We are partnering with a new CRM system, and that CRM system specifically mentioned that your company was a good one to work with as far as signing documents electronically and things like that. We do utilize digital documents on the education side. And so I could see a transition from what we're currently using to using this system as well.
And what CRM is this?
So the new CRM is Lead Squared.
Got it. So I also like to sort of ask, what sort of made you make the switch to signNow? Was it just because when you switched CRMs, they noted that signNow connects seamlessly? Is that how you found out about signNow?
So they've never actually, we are the first company to actually integrate signNow with them. But I know cost was a big factor. Mm-hmm. And then, so once we kind of took a look at pricing, what we were paying versus what you had to offer. And then just, I think, getting into the system and seeing the ease of use and all the different functionalities that were available within the documents themselves.
Great. Yeah. What were some of the problems that you kept encountering before this new CRM and before signNow?
I think the organization within the platform, like documents would get lost. Mm-hmm. They would have to search for them a lot. We use a lot of things with like money, different mm-hmm. tuitions and things like that. And so it was really nice using the calculated fields and just having a lot of foolproof things in place as far as your system goes, that I could set the templates up, have them done, and not leave room for human error once they're mm-hmm. filling them out.
Were there, besides human error and convenience, were there any other problems that were just like annoying things that all sort of culminated with you seeking out this new solution?
I think so. I think, again, pricing was a big one.
Yep.
That was probably one of the major reasons.
Got it. And what other competitors did you look at?
So we were using DocuSign,
yep.
And so that's the one that we've switched from. On the education side, we use DocHub, which is fine, but like I said, I think eventually we'll switch from DocHub to signNow for education documents. And then Adobe, is another one that's out there.
And so if I understand correctly, you're saying there's education and then there's the other use cases. Yep. Could you explain a little bit more in detail the difference between your 2 main use cases, and also if there are other use cases?
So the ones that are using it right now are the admission reps. So they are writing contracts. So that's where a lot of the calculated fields came into place, for the contracts, because you're listing tuition and scholarships and down payments and financial aid and all of those kind of different things that could come into a person's specific contract. Mm-hmm. We deal a lot with secure documents on that side because you have social security numbers and birthdays, right. And, all of that different information for students and parents and things like that. On the education side, it's more so like checklists, like students receive kits. There's requests for different things that happen to a student, like they might need a leave of absence, and so they're filling out a leave of absence form, or they're filling out a schedule change form. It might be an assignment tracker where they're tracking their tests. So I've converted like all those things digitally into DocHub, which, again, is really nice because then I can just download it and then it uploads into our platform that we use to track the students, like where all of their information lives within our system, grading, mm-hmm. and different things like that.
Cool. And so is this just you, or do you have a team of people that are also using it, or is this all you?
So
Sort of on the admin side, I'm talking about.
Yeah, on the admin side of things. So on the admission side, there's a whole team of people that'll be using it then. So there's admission people for all 4 campuses. On the academic side, there's some documents that I solely control because of, they have to be so accurate and things like that for the Department of Education. And then our other campus managers will utilize other documents within that as well.
I would love to also talk a little bit about the implementation process. What was it like getting it up and running? Were there people who were, do you have non-technical people on your team that are able to use it? Okay, yeah, same.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Trevor was, a great help whenever we kind of ran into a question. The calculated fields took a little bit of time to kind of figure out, and more so just understanding the formulas that it was able to do. I wasn't really sure, like, what can I put in there? What can I figure out with a calculated field? And so knowing that we could have what we were using an Excel sheet for, and putting those formulas into the calculated fields, like, that was huge. And it took a little time. I mean, I had to I think we ended up doing about 40 or 41 different documents because we have a contract for each schedule, each campus, each program. And so, it took time to build them all.
I would love to talk about some of the more qualitative and or quantitative results and changes that you've seen. Just on the more qualitative side, is there any way that you could say your experience has already been changed for the better? And has it made your life easier?
Because we have, even though we're waiting on the integration with Lead Squared, they're already utilizing the documents out of signNow. They say that it's really easy to fill out. Everything that I've pre-populated in there is working. Everything's working the way it should. And so it's just really, time is of the essence. When you're an admission rep, you're trying to get from one lead to the next lead to the next lead and getting that paperwork done efficiently but accurately.
What about some of your colleagues? Is there, anecdotally anything that's helped them out?
That's what that's just what they were saying, is just, it's nice that those fields are set. I don't have to worry about it. And all I'm doing is filling out basic information, student to student.
Cool. What about in the future? What are some ways that you think e-signature will help your life, your colleagues' lives, your end users' lives that maybe you haven't set it up yet, but what are some things that you want to do?
Yeah. Well, and again, I think because I've already made all of our other documents digital, we have to have certain documentation in a student's file. We're governed by the Department of Education, we're governed by NACIS, we're governed by the state of Illinois. And so we have to have signatures on things. We have to have certain documents. And by making it digital, we're enforcing that it's uploaded into their files. We're enforcing that it's in that platform where the student kind of lives for us. And again, we don't necessarily have to be at that specific campus to enforce that. I can look in any student's file at any campus and I can see where it's at. Yeah. And if it's not there, then again, I can go and digitally send it to a student. I can Zoom with them and as they're filling it out. So just those kinds of things, and enforcement of that stuff.
And also the fact that, it's a pretty nice COVID tool to have. You don't have to be in person. You don't have to travel to different campuses. And hand paper to each other.
Mom and dad live in different states. We can have them sign, the students sign.
What about a little bit more quantitative? Do you have an estimate of how many people actually use? I know you told me how many students and faculty you have, but how many people actually end up using signNow in one way or another?
Yeah. So it would be myself, our 4 admission reps, and then probably financial aid. So that's 3 or 4 more people right there.
Mhm.
And then again, eventually, if we move over to the education side, there's about 16 staff members on that side that would end up using it too.
Do you have any estimates on, some people give me their metrics in terms of numbers of paper saved, pieces of paper saved, or some people say it's saved this many hours in document turnaround time. What about you? Has it saved you time or paper or money?
I mean, definitely, because every student has, like, if we were to print it out, every student has about 10 or 12 pieces of paper that they're signing or filling out in order just to enroll. And then, of course, if there's any mistakes or anything like that, then again, that's another piece of paper that's printed out to adjust for a mistake that could have been made. On the education side, I have 15 documents on the education side, and then per program. So again, if we're printing all of that paperwork out like we
It's
were
a lot of
before,
paper.
yeah.
What about turnaround time? Was it ever a pain in the neck when something would need to be signed and then you just never got it sent back?
Yeah, because
got lost?
you're looking for the student, you're waiting till you have a moment to do it, and now it's just quick. You can hop on, you can adjust whatever needs to be adjusted, and then email it out.
What would you tell somebody who is like considering making this change that you guys made?
I mean, I would definitely recommend it as far as like setup, like setting up your templates. And that whole process went, I found that much easier than DocHub or DocuSign. I've worked with both of those. Much more like user friendly. Again, we really only had to reach out to Trevor for like the harder parts of things, like those calculated field questions. But otherwise, it's pretty user friendly and kind of self-explanatory.
I'm wondering what is and you can be honest, what's exceeded your expectations with signNow and what hasn't? And you could be,
So, I mean, really, I don't find that anything hasn't. Again, I'm not yet working with them on a daily basis, so I haven't run into any issues. Definitely, as we've been integrating with Lead Squared and they're kind of explaining what their platform is going to look like for the student, I've had to go back and I've had to like merge documents together, right? And then even yesterday, I was working with them and my admission rep was like, oh, we need this one too. And I was like, oh man, like I just spent an hour merging all those 40 documents with 40 other documents, and now I have to add one more. It was easy for me to figure out how to do that quickly. I didn't have to redo everything. I could just add a template to everything that I just filled out. So that was nice.
What would be like one word or a couple words, if you want, that would describe your experience with us so far, and why would you use that word?
Yeah, so like I said, definitely user friendly, and convenience as far as time saving and just convenient in order to get the necessary information that we need.